Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and welcome back to a monthly video that I do. It's basically, if you're just tuning in, every year, either the last day of December or the first of January of the following year, I do a year ahead spread. I pull cards for the year, and then each month I go back and look over. At the end of the month, I go back over and look at that card and how it affected me throughout the month. I really don't pay attention. I pull it in January and then I just kind of forget about them. That way, and I tried at the kind of the beginning of the year to kind of follow throughout the month, but I found I feel like I had more of an influence on it, so I went back to like forgetting about it. In the month, and I did look. Last 3 years, I've been doing these, and I do a little bit of a different variation every year. This year, I decided to incorporate the my card of the year as well with the card of the month, just so every month I'm reminded of what my card of the year is, how it's affected me, how I can use it going forward, things like that. So without further ado, I pulled the. It is August. My chest hurts today. I think I'm getting a cold. I don't like it. I had a neighbor say that COVID's coming back around with a different strain. I don't know if that's what's happening or if I'm just getting a regular cold. Last time I got sick, it was the flu, and it was like a super flu, and it was horrible. And I was out for 2 weeks, and my birthday is in 4 days, so I'm praying it's just a head cold or a 24-hour bug, something like that, that can go away. But it is August 29th, 2024, 9:25 in the morning. I'm off. Today's Thursday. I was off yesterday. I'm off today. I'm off tomorrow. Monday is a holiday, which actually falls on my birthday this year, Labor Day. My birthday is the 2nd of September. So I took half the week off just to have breathing room because I feel like I've had a lot of, I had a new trainee start that I had to train at work. We also have been having construction going on for 2 months, 3 months actually. It was supposed to be over by the end of July. It's now the end of August. They're still there. It's been horrible. They are in our way, doing things, making noise, painting, and so the scent of the paint has been all up in our sinuses, and that could be what's wrong with me. I just have a lot of sinus stuff going on. But then this morning, I got up bright and early, which ticked me off because I've been trying to sleep in the last 2 days. And yesterday I was up at 4 a.m. and I'm like, why? And today I was up at 7. I'm like, why? Because I'm trying to sleep in and it's just my body won't let me. But I pulled out. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to look at the card and look at some cards. I actually started looking last night. And the more I thought about the month of August and what it entailed for me, since we're only 3 days left in the month, I was like, oh, this card really did affect me in the month. And it blows my mind every time I pull a card in the month, and all of a sudden, it's exactly what I went through. I pulled the card in January, haven't looked at it till yesterday, when I was like, oh yeah, that's the card. And again, a card I never pull. And it's from the, if you've been paying attention this year, I've been using the Spirit Song Tarot for that card, or I use that for my year head spread because I don't really connect with this deck very much, and I have barely used it. So I thought if I use it throughout the year for my year ahead spread, that I'll connect with it more, just like I did with the deck I used last year. And it's really is helping me connect with the deck. But without further ramble, my card of the month for the month of August is the Seven of Acorns, which is the Seven of Wands. Like I said, I don't ever recall ever pulling this card, ever. In the 5 years I've been doing tarot, maybe 6 years now. Who knows? 2019. Yeah, it's almost 6 years. Anyway, never remember pulling this card, ever. And I'm like, whoa, maybe this is why I don't really have kind of an association with it. And that got me thinking, why now? And so I actually started the last 2 months. I've noticed I don't really pay attention to the numerology aspect of it, but I've noticed the last 3 months, 2 to 3 months. Yeah, June, July, August. Yeah, 3 months. I've noticed I started paying attention to the numbers, and I'm like, why? Am I starting to finally branch out and get into numerology? Is that what's going on? I don't know, but I love this deck simply because it has keywords. So the keyword is determination and stamina. And as I was yesterday watching some kind of clips on this specific card, because like I said, I never pull this card. So if pulling it for someone, I might have a little, if I'm not reading intuitively, I might have a little hiccup on remembering what this card means because I never pull it ever. And it stuck in my mind yesterday when I was watching a clip of someone, and they said, it's about standing your ground, standing in your beliefs. And I was like, wait a minute. And then determination and stamina goes right along with that to me. And the way they said it was standing your ground in a more religious connotation or spiritual connotation. And I'm like, that could be in anything. I was told, I've known since I was 5 years old that I wanted to be a writer. That's all I've ever wanted to be, is a writer. And I know now that it stems to a past life. I know that's why. For a fact, I know that's why. Actually my last life, but that's neither here nor there. That's a whole other video. But I've known since I was 5 years old that ever since I could legibly write my name, I wanted to write. I wanted to be a writer. And I have been told relentlessly, I was told by a school counselor, I was told by a counselor in my senior year in high school that was paid to come and help with career advice, that it was never going to happen, ever. Because writing, much like acting, is something that is very hard to get into. And I'm like, but what if you have natural talent? And they're like, nobody has natural talent. It's something that you have to mature and blossom and blah, 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 blah. You have to have college. You have to have college. And I kept hearing, you have to have higher learning for that. And it's funny because now I'm almost 48. I've been a writer. I've published a couple of books. And I don't have that higher learning. I am surrounded when I have a writer group that it's just a couple people, but I'm surrounded by them who are college educated, and they're like, that's ridiculous. You do not need higher education if you have a natural talent. And I'm like, and they're like, you do. You obviously have a natural talent. They're like, you can spin a story so hard. It's crazy. Like, where do you come up with these ideas? I'm like, I never sleep. So, this card kind of reiterates that this month specifically. It's almost like my guides have been going, what are you doing? You have free time. Why aren't you writing? Why aren't you writing? Why aren't you writing? And I think I've been hung up so much on in the past about you need a higher education, or nobody's going to look at it once they know I'm not higher educated. That I just blocked myself from writing. And I think it's interesting that that has actually come up twice in the month of August, about my writing. And so despite the fact that I am being told it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen. I've been told this my whole life. It's never going to happen. I'm determined. This is my purpose. I know it is. So I feel like this card reiterated that in the month of August. And I think that's interesting. And it, again, blows my mind that we now have a card for the month of August where things came up about this specific thing that I have dug myself into the ground, deep to, I'm not going across this line. I'm determined it's going to happen. I have the stamina, but at the same time, I get in my own way, if that makes any sense. There's also was a work thing that came up that I stood my ground. I was determined, no, this is not going to happen. This is the way it should be. And this is how you need to do it. Because my boss has never done the jobs that are required of us at our job. Like he just came in and was a manager. He's never actually physically been in the field doing the work. So when he came in and was like, because they're remodeling everything, I got a whole new room. And he's like, we need to do this, this, and this. I'm like, no, it doesn't make sense for shipping because I am the sole shipping person. I basically run the whole shipping area. And I'm like, no, it doesn't make sense because this, and this. And he goes, oh, I didn't know about this, and this. I'm like, well, you should have known about this, and this because you're the boss. And I had to tell the boss and I had to put my foot down, so to speak, in the month of August for certain things about the remodel. And I'm like, no, this needs to be this way. So I just found that interesting that once again, and it again always blows my mind that I didn't look at the card all month, haven't looked at it all year. When I pulled this card in January, I never expected it to hit home so hard as it did in the month of August. And I'm like, that's insane. Again, insanity. I'm drinking from Seven Brew. It is a white chocolate mocha. It's iced white chocolate mocha with raspberry. It is phenomenal. Delicious. But that's been my guilty pleasure every morning lately. And I've rambled on and on and on. So the card I'm showing you guys for my card of the year is the Wheel of Fortune. And I'm using the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot that is an out of print deck that is at one point, from what I've been told, going mass market. This is my favorite Wheel of Fortune ever. And if I've used it in this series this year, I don't think I have, but if I have, I apologize. But it's my favorite because they're weaving the thread of life and they're using the roots, and there's something that speaks to so personal to me on that. And it kind of ties in with this card that you're weaving that web of you're determined, you're stamina, you're putting your foot down, you're grounding yourself in the earth in this decision you're making. And I just think that's beautiful. And the three fates is beautiful. And she talks about three fates in the book. I don't know how big the book is going to be on the mass market version, but I'm so glad I have the indie version because the book is like 4 inches thick. It's humongous. She makes me want to be a better writer when I read that book. And I'm like, oh, it's just so fantastic. For Avalon Cameron. You know, it's Anna Torian's artwork. We all know this. But, and then I wanted to show you the Seven of Wands in that deck. It looks like she's slaying all her dragons. It's a female, and I love that. It's a female instead of a male. I love when they switch up the genders in decks like that. But she's slaying all the people in her way. She's jumping over everybody that's in her way. And I kind of love that. I mean, it can be used as a negative connotation, sure, where she's walking on everybody to get what she wants. But at the same time, she's not letting these naysayers, these other people get in her way. You know what I mean? And this cat is over here literally clawing at me, pawing at me. I don't know why. He wants attention all of a sudden. I've been trying to give him attention all morning. He don't want nothing to do with me. Now that I'm filming, he's literally over here walking around my decks on the couch, like pawing at me. I'm like, what is happening? And then I want to show you my 2.0 tarot, the Seven of Wands in it. It's the traditional RWS, Seven of Wands that you normally see in the RWS. And I just found it interesting that the short I saw of this was this card specifically, and it was showing that how they're standing their ground and they're fighting off all these other wands. They're fighting off the naysayers, the negativity. They're like, no, I'm determined. I'm standing my ground in this decision I've made, and you can't stop me. And I kind of love that. And I'm like, how have I not seen that in this card before? To me, this just, and again, the Five of Wands is my forever stalker card. It always comes up. It's been coming up since the day I started doing tarot. Every time I have like conflict with myself, that card pops up. And people can say, I've seen people say this is kind of like another conflict card, but it's more conflict with self versus the Five of Wands is competition with other people or conflict with other people. And I almost see it as the other way around. The Five of Wands to me is a conflict with self, different aspects of self, and this is you telling others, no, this is how I am. This is how this is going to be. I'm putting my foot down. And so I just found that interesting that I kind of see those kind of backwards. And then another card I want to show you from the Pulp Tarot. I freaking love this deck so hard. And when I saw this one, I'm like, yeah, that's a traditional looking Seven of Wands, but it's also, I mean, like 70s style movie, Planet of the Apes kind of vibe, and I freaking love it. I freaking love this card. Or love this card in this deck. I love it. Love it to pieces. And then I want to show you from the new Heartwood Tarot. It would not be me if I didn't show you the newest deck I've got. The Heartwood Tarot. Ain't that beautiful? I mean, come on. And it's funny how it goes from one extreme to the other here. I love it, though. And then the last one I want to show you, and I don't know why, but I'm going to read out of the book for this one. It's the Under the Oak Tarot, and I have a bag for it. It's literally a hair under the moon. Crazy. And I think the bag was called Under the Hair Under the Oak, and I'm like, really? Because this is the Under the Oak Tarot. And this is the Seven of Wands, and I keep wanting to say Seven of Swords. It's the Seven of Wands in that deck. And I just found that interesting. Now, when I look up the number 7, which is ironic because as a Virgo, being born on the 2nd of September 9, and the 2nd of the number 2 is my go-to number. Anytime I play the lottery, which is rare, or anything I do with the number, I add the number 2 in there because that's my number. But I find it ironic, especially when I was doing this. The Chariot is my soul card, which it blows my mind because I would assumed it was going to be the Hermit because Hermit is tied to Virgo. But when you do numerology, and you find your soul card, my soul card is number 7, the Chariot. And I'm like, that's crazy. And then here we got the Seven of Wands this month. And it just reminded me that the Chariot is my soul card. And it almost tied together for me, kind of like you're set in this determination to make something happen. And the Chariot is there to remind you to keep going forward, in that determination. So I just found that very interesting and how they interconnected. And once again, I'm all about the numbers for some reason. And I'm like, that's crazy because I'm never all about the numbers ever. So I wanted to read from I love this Los Scarabeo cardstock they did, and they etched it in silver. They did a fantastic job on this deck, on the cardstock. If I can find the book here, of course the book is multiple, I think it's multiple languages this time. It may not be. Yeah, it is. They've done a couple of decks where the whole deck, like the Cersei Tarot, which I just started using again. I freaking love that deck so hard. And if you guys want to see a video where I've done, like decks I've been using, over the last couple weeks, let me know because they're different. And I pulled out the Cersei Tarot and I'm like, I forgot that it's all one language and I love it. Love it. Love it. But it's like, Greek mythology, and this one has a Greek mythology in it too, the Under the Oak. It's pretty interesting. It makes me want to read the books. So we got Seven of Wands. Let's see what it says here. It's just a quick blurb. But I was curious to what it says in here because this does not look like their traditional Seven of Wands. So I wanted to see what that said in here. Seven of Wands. The reward we have earned is well deserved, but it also has a dual nature. It is important to consider different perspectives, as this allows us to not only understand the bigger picture, but also explore the finer details. There is an enormous task that is both intimidating and has the potential to bring us greatness. We are in the presence of a seemingly threatening wolf. Oh, I didn't even see him there. He's right there. Can you see him? There's a tree, and then there's the wolf here with his eye. Interesting. Which may wish to help us, but is baring his teeth defensively. Anima's message: resilience and wisdom to defeat enemies. Something deceiving, achievement of set objectives, albeit with a fair share of challenges. So you're going to get there. There just may be a lot of challenges in the way that you have to go through. And again, the Chariot comes to mind where you're plowing through all of those challenges because the Chariot just keeps going forward no matter what, right? Well, mine does. No matter where, no matter if I want to go forward or not, it's going to take me there. And I've done a video of that in the past because there was, the year 2022, the Chariot was my card of the year. And it's my soul card. And it literally felt like I got caught up in the reins at the beginning of the year and I was just drugged through the year. And I'm like, whoa. So yeah, I find it interesting that I'm coming across more of the numerology aspect of things. And I freaking love this, that this is the third card now this year that I really never pull. And I just find it interesting that I'm pulling cards that I wouldn't normally take a second look at. And I'm being forced to dig deep into the card and take a second look. And let me look here. Let me see where I was at. Let me see real quick. My spread I did for the year. So, Ten of Crystals, High Priestess, Seven of Feathers. Yeah, I pulled the Seven of Feathers in April, which is the Seven of Swords, which I never pull. And then I pulled the Seven of Crystals in May, which is the Seven of Cups. No, crystals are pentacles. Yeah, that's right, pentacles. And then in June, I pulled the Five of Swords, which I never pull. And then July, I pulled the Six of Crystals, which is the Six of Pentacles, which I never pull. And then here's August, I pulled the Seven of Acorns, which is the Seven of Wands. So I found it very funny, very odd. And the fact that I'm pulling a lot of sevens this year has made me double look at what's going on with the Chariot aspect. Maybe that's reminding me, yeah, the Chariot is your soul card. You need to interact with that energy also. So that's what I got for you guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And before you go, I forgot, I was going to talk about, real quick, I cannot see. I'm blind. I have blind now. The Seven of Pentacles, or Seven of Wands. Oh my God. Talks about the need to stand firm in your spiritual beliefs, but the number seven talks about completion and perfection. So I found that very interesting too, because the completion part, I automatically think of the World card and ending a cycle, right? Or the Ten of Swords, where there's an ending to something. It's a completion of a cycle of something. And it's funny because they are just ending the construction at my job. And there's other personal things going on that is ending. And I'm just like, it's just weird. So I think that is why I'm kind of leaning more toward, we need to dig deeper into the numerology aspect of the number of the card as well. And I just never thought I would be one of those people that did that. So I'm just throwing that out there to add to the video and let y'all know. Maybe that's something, if you don't, like me, if you just deal with, like I normally read intuitively. So I'm not always paying attention to what the actual card means or even the number that it is. I just pay attention to what comes to me. Maybe this year is a way of looking deeper into all of those things as a collective. So I just found that interesting that they all seem to jive and go together this year, like little puzzle pieces fitting together for this month. But that's all I got. And you guys have a great night. Bye.